Good, frigidly cold Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith on this very cold Wednesday, the 14th of January, 2015. From the New Jersey Weather and Climate Weather Network here at Rutgers University, these are the current temperatures this morning as around 7:10 this morning, 5 above right now in High Point, 4 degrees in Walpack, 6 degrees. These are in Sussex County, New Jersey at Lafayette. All other temperatures are in the single digits here in Warren County, into the teens across the central and eastern portions, including the Newark area this morning. Temperatures in West Orange at 13, and temperatures in Summit this morning at 13 degrees. Right along the immediate coast, temperatures are in the mid to the upper 20s, even lower 30s right here on the islands here at Harvey Cedars, the Strands here on Ocean County. Temperatures also in Atlantic County at around 33 at Atlantic City Marina. And temperatures this morning are around 28 degrees or so, and there's a little bit of light snow across Cape May, New Jersey, and there's a winter weather advisory in effect until around 1 o'clock, and we'll get into that in just a moment. Minimum temperatures this morning, 0 degrees this morning for a minimum temperature at High Point Monument before the sun came up, 1 degrees below zero at Walpack. These were some of the coldest readings this morning over the interior sections of northwestern New Jersey. We have lots of mid and lower level clouds around the region, especially the further central, south, and west you go. This is due to a temperature inversion, subsidence inversion, where we've got some moisture trapped in the lower levels of the atmosphere. Also a trough axis and a short wave off the around Delmarva here, strengthening this morning, producing some lift and obviously some precipitation in the form of basically ice pellets and some snow scattered about central, very southern New Jersey, most of Delaware, and into portions of Maryland this morning. And as a result, the temperatures this morning under partly to mostly cloudy skies are rising now. Central Park's at 18, LaGuardia 18, 20 at Kennedy, 14 degrees right now at Newark and rising, mostly cloudy there. Teterboro, partly cloudy and 14. Out on Long Island, temperatures are generally running in the low to the mid 20s. The exception, Montauk Point out here at about 28 degrees. All the winds are out of the north or northeast at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. A few gustier speeds here out on Montauk, Long Island. Now for the Hudson River Valley, it's partly cloudy. The further north you go, the less cloud cover you're going to get. Temperatures are 9 degrees below zero at Albany, 4 degrees at Montgomery and Poughkeepsie, 14 degrees at White Plains this morning. In New Jersey, mostly cloudy skies across the region. Temperatures ranging from 6 degrees in Sussex and Andover up to about 12 degrees in Caldwell, 14 in Newark. And the temperatures rise up to around 26 in Atlantic City, 28 at Toms River, and 25 at Belmar this morning. Eastern Pennsylvania, all cloudy. Temperatures ranging from around 14 in Allentown up to about 22 degrees in Philadelphia. Visible path of the satellite this morning shows the increasing cloud cover across central and southern New Jersey. And as a result, this is a little shortwave trough. It's enhancing the lifting here with some ice pellets and some light snow showers around the region. The low pressure center that could have been is still well out over the Atlantic. You can see this on water vapor nicely with the channeling of rising motion to the air. The colder cloud tops here, more moisture content with the lifting, and hence a little bit more precipitation around Cape May and into Kent and Delaware counties here, and back into Talbot County in Maryland this morning. Storm Prediction Center's mesoanalysis, where you see the tight packing of temperature gradient here. This is where all of the lifting is. This is our thermal gradient. It's at 850 millibars in the mid levels of the atmosphere. And if we looked at the 700 millibar temperature advection, we can see the rising motion of the air here in the pinks. This is over the Delmarva. The most important thing we'd really like to see is the frontogenesis, and we see this with the thermally packed atmosphere here over the Delmarva. This is what's providing the lift for the snow and ice pellets across the Delmarva region this morning. And the watches, warnings, and advisories here for Cape May County here in New Jersey, and also for Kent County in Delaware, and the Maryland, Queen Anne, and Caroline, and Talbot counties here. We're looking for basically a winter weather advisory until 1 p.m. this afternoon, and this will be for some light snow and sleet. Snow and sleet accumulations up to around an inch can be expected in these regions here. And the light snow will develop over the region this morning and continue through the morning hours, possibly mixing with a little sleet at times as the atmosphere begins to warm. Most of the accumulating snow and sleet should end by this afternoon, and this will cause some impacts on the morning commute this morning. And for the marine weather deck, we do have some small craft advisories until 6 a.m. on Thursday for north to north east winds. North to northeast winds at 10 to 20 knots with occasional gusts up to 25 knots, and the sea is basically 4 to 7 feet. And for the waters from Montauk Point, New Jersey, or Sandy Hook, New Jersey, out to Montauk Point, New York, we have have a small craft advisory in effect for hazardous seas for today, and they will be generally running between 3 and 5 feet. It's cold on the tarmac this morning. The aviational weather forecast, basically MVFR ceilings in place right now, and they're developing and spreading across the region with light snow expected northward of Wilmington and Millville and Atlantic City. Snow may reduce visibilities in the MVFR range for those locations with a light accumulation of snow possible. Meanwhile, only a passing flurry anticipated for Philadelphia, North Philadelphia, and absolutely no precipitation expected for Trenton, Allentown, or Reading at any point further north. Conditions are forecast to improve gradually to VFR for this afternoon and tonight, with ceilings lifting to 3,000 to 5,000 feet, as we still have a thermal gradient in place, actually basically some thermal temperature inversion here, where we have some lower clouds and moisture trapped in the lower levels of the atmosphere below 5,000 feet. Other than that, north to northeast wind at about 5 to 10 knots for today. Wind speeds may drop off to 5 knots or less tonight, and the wind direction backs towards the northwest tomorrow. The outlook for Thursday through Saturday, VFR conditions expected on Friday. Northwest winds gusting to around 20 knots at all the terminals as the cold front passes through. Yes, another cold front. And Sunday, MVFR conditions possible in some rain or snow showers. Right now we're in VFR at Newark, but it's cold. 14 degrees, dew point 10 degrees Celsius below zero, dew point 5 Fahrenheit. Relative humidity, the dew point is 5 Fahrenheit, 14 Fahrenheit is 10 Celsius below zero. Relative humidity 67%. The wind is northeast at 14, making the wind chill feel like 1 degrees below zero. A few clouds at around 4,000, 15,000, and broken at 24,000, and VFR conditions in place for today. Philadelphia is in MVFR right now, 22 degrees, dew point 11, humidity 62%. The wind is northeast at 9, visibility is 10, few clouds at 1,600, 3,700, and 5,000. Wind chill indice about 12. It's cold out there, and MVFR becoming VFR during this afternoon. Morning run of the HRR, high resolution rapid refresh precipitation type forecast into the future for the next 10 hours or a couple of hours or so. Some light ice pellets and snow across the Delmarva, transitioning off to rain. Area of low pressure off the mid-Atlantic coast continues to move out to sea, and lots of sunshine developing across the interior sections from New York to Philadelphia during this afternoon under a very cold north to northeast flow. Max temperatures this afternoon after we get out of the teens right here in northwestern New Jersey. Temperatures running into the 20s, closer to the 30s for central and southern portions into the Delmarva this afternoon before the cold air comes back in tonight. One of the main sources of the lack of phasing of these winter storms here in the eastern United States, not just the polar vortex, which is now retreated back into north of Hudson's Bay, back toward the Arctic Circle. Basically, we have a very active western Pacific jet here, and as a result of this jet streak off of Asia all the way to the eastern Pacific here with a split flow pattern, part of the branch moving into the southern branch and the other part moving into the polar and Arctic branch here, is that it's too strong. So it's not allowing the ridge axis to really build. It's starting to a little bit, but we like to see the ridge axis a little bit further east. And then this whole polar vortex and cold Arctic air that's been in place here across the northeastern United States with a trough here begins to slow up the pattern a little bit, allow amplitude and storms to phase along the east coast. We're not seeing that yet, so no matter which model you're going to pick, there's going to be deviations and variations in any of them in any long period of time. And of course, we can see this nicely with our ridge axis here, building off of the south of the Aleutian Islands and off the west coast here. Here's our split flow pattern with our polar disturbances here, and here's our active subtropical branch. Still quite active, but there's just not a lot of phasing here as this split flow pattern. Everything is moving too fast, and there's not any amount of time for these storms to slow up, phase, and conjoin. Otherwise, we'd be dealing with a snowstorm along the east coast, and what we have is just minimal lifting here along the Delmarva this morning with a light snow and ice event. So it's pick a model, any model, GFS operational, GFS parallel becoming operational today at some point, CMC, European model guidance, and regular old GFS. Well, pick a model, any model, it really doesn't matter. There's going to be slight deviations in any of them, and future forecast of precipitation events won't be anything to cough or sneeze at, but they certainly won't be anything to concern us with great magnitude with either at this point. This is the CMC, the Canadian model guidance from last night, and as you can see, high pressure is moving off the coast. Here's our snow and ice event a little bit on the coastal plain here from Delmarva into Cape May, New Jersey, and then low pressure area moving out to sea once again. So another lost system here to the east coast, and heights fall once again with cold air moving into place, and another cold frontal passage on Friday afternoon, Friday morning, and Friday afternoon. We're going to bring another return to chilly air across the region. Now, there's a little bit of warming going on as this trough axis moves across the region. High pressure builds in over the top on Saturday. It's certainly not going to be a blowtorch warm up. We find a little bit of warm air across the Delmarva region during the day on Sunday. This is a little bit more heights are a little bit higher, and air is a little bit warmer on the GFS model than the CMC, but regardless, it's not going to last long. And here's our next wave of low pressure off the coastline, exiting out to sea, not phasing or branching with this disturbance here over the Great Lakes, and this would be for Sunday afternoon. And the GFS model just continue. The CMC model continues this out to sea. The GFS from last night continues this with a little bit of wintry precipitation and rain right along the New Jersey Delmarva coast. All the other model guidance, including the European model guidance, says not so much. What is evident is the cold air in place and snow showers, and coming in from off the lakes, and just cold air advection in place. The idea here is that any warm up will not be lasting. Cold air will be in place, but there's not much room for major winter storms. We do get to the 21st of Wednesday, and the Canadian says, well, we've got an area of low pressure heading up towards the lakes, and some isentropic lift over the top, so light snow breaks out, develops another, tries to transfer its energy off to the mid-Atlantic coast states, and then that becomes the primary low, and then out to sea that goes with just a little bit of leftover light snow. It's not a major snowstorm here, it's isentropic lift, so we don't really see a coastal storm under this scenario either. And then just cold air still locked up in place. Frontal boundary locked to the south, area of low pressure along the southeast coast heads southward and eastward again away from the forecast area. We continue in a relatively benign but cold weather pattern for late January. Scarves, hats, gloves needed for today. That's it for today. Everything live on Garden State Weather, gardenstateweather.blogspot.com, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. I'm forecaster Robert Smith. Be safe out there. Have a good Wednesday. Stay warm, and we'll see you again on Thursday morning.